Young Striking Vision says, "Hey, how are you doing? I'm willing to know if you will be interested to organize a debate on Israel and Palestine. I would like to engage respectfully and present my case. I'm not in, I've never debated. I'm not a debate streamer. Far from it. Yeah, have a debate with Pyranarchist in chat about the genocide. It's not a genocide, guys, okay? I promise, it's not a genocide. If you are against Israel, you're a jihadist." Ooh. Damn. Who's happy to not have done that debate? All right, Young Striking Vision, thank you. No. Anti-Zionism, Pyranarchist, is anti-Semitism. But Young Striking Vision, how do you create a country if all land in the world is owned itself by other countries? That means you need to displace people. How do you displace people? Right? How do you displace people? Pyro-anarchist is neither woke, jihadist, or Nazi. It literally says they're a pyro-anarchist. That's the ideology they go through. Yeah, it's a made-up ideology. We talk about it, but like at least we have to recognize the ideology that they have in their own name, right? The three genders. Those are the three genders. All ideologies are made up. That is true. But like unironically, if I create a religion, all right? Let's say I call it pyro-anarchism, and I create a religion with my fellow my huge platform, my huge Twitch streams with 19 viewers, and like we get like over 1 million people subscribing to our religion, okay? And then like it grows. I die eventually. You know, I might have founded a religion, but I'm still mortal. And then I die. And then we get more and more people. Well, not us, but the religion gets more and more people. And we get to 16 million people. Our religion gets 16 million people. And then members of our religion, we've long passed, right? But members of our religion in like 40, 50 years, they're like, hey, we'd like our own country. How would you go about creating your own country with 16 million people? Germinalism. Yeah, let's not call it pyro-anarchism. Let's call it germinalism. And where would the Germinalists go if they wanted to create a country? Yes, BZ in Germany? I don't know. That's the thing. Like, if you want to go in Yes, BZ and you're like, all right, this is now a state for Germinalists, that means the people who don't ascribe to Germinalists or Germinalism need to either be fine with their land being, you know, now belonging and becoming like a land for Germinalists. There are 50 Muslim countries in the world. I will trade Israel with their land in a heartbeat. But the thing is, you need to understand that, and that's maybe one of the reasons why you fail to understand what's going on. But people have an attachment to their land, and you can't just say, all right, I'll take Kuwait. All right, we'll leave Israel, or we'll leave Palestine, and we'll take Kuwait instead. But this thing is, you have people in Kuwait who have an attachment to their land. They have communities, they have houses, they have a culture that is specific to their you know, to their people. Saying, all right, get the fuck out of there, Kuwait. You can go in Palestine. We'll take your land. Just goes to show how much your idea of creating a country out of nothing, how harmful it can be. You know, I'm an anarchist. I'm against states. I'm against nation states. I'm against countries in general. Borders suck. And borders were created through war. They were created through a shit ton of violence and death and blood. But the whole idea of saying, let's create another country by displacing other people, because that's what's needed to create another country, it's very problematic. It is out of nothing. Young Striking Vision, if you're gonna base the creation of a new country off the Bible, I'm sorry, but you have to be a religious zealot. Motherfucker is calling us jihadists, but this motherfucker is also justifying his occupation of a territory through a religious book. God damn. Yes, the famously unbiased historical book, the Bible, of course. Yeah, this is funny. I'm not saying that to dunk on you or whatever, but like, holy shit. What would you think, like, if Young Striking Vision, like, if we were like, all right, journalists, you know what? We're moving into Israel. Fuck Palestine, fuck Israel. We're moving in and we're making the Holy Land our land now. And we read the Bible and we make an interpretation that we are the descendants of whatever the fuck. The true one-state solution is we take over the whole fucking land and we make it our own. How would you feel about that? Wouldn't that fucking suck? It would. It would fucking suck. Yeah, fellas, it's simple. All we need is a supernatural force to create a new country without screwing over the people who already live there. Yeah, let's create a new country without screwing over the people who already live on the land. That's going to go great. That's not going to become violent and extremely problematic. But have you read the extremely known book, the Bible? How is Israel taking over Palestine any different from the Spanish colonized the Americas? I think there's a difference, but it's in the justification that each country gives, right? Israel gives, like, the justification of Israel comes from, well, the Holy Land. It comes from, oh, we need a country, so we need to displace some people somewhere if we want to create a country. Spain was like, we want resources, we want land. Oh, they also said we'll turn the indigenous people Christian. That's how they justified it. It's the same, but with different justifications, different mechanisms of justification. The fact that you brought up the Bible doesn't give much support to the idea that you have good arguments. This Bible thing seems pretty interesting. I've been meaning to read more political theory. I'm sorry, Young Striking Vision. I think the fact that you believe that you can justify the displacement of people to create a country, to you, this might be justified. To me, it's not. Displacing people to create a new country. I think our disagreement is basically that. Displacing people to create your own country. You say, yes, we can. And I say, no, you can't. What are we going to talk about? I believe we can displace people to create a country. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. And you're like, yeah, I do think it's a good idea. It's nothing against Young Striking Vision, by the way. It's not his or her fault. Obviously not. Can you really blame someone who's grown up in those conditions to say that if you oppose Zionism, if you oppose Israel, then you're a jihadist or a Nazi or whatever? Here's a question. Does Journal favor creating a country but not displacing people? I mean, the only place that you could go to is like that wouldn't displace people would be Greenland, Antarctica. I mean, I'm sure there are places like Mongolia must have a lot of free space. Canada must have a lot of free space. I don't know if they're willing to give it. But I mean, if it's not used, who cares? I mean, Gaza is not very big, right? So you can probably find the size of Gaza. If Israel really wants a territory that's the size of Gaza, they can go. There's Canada, there's Mongolia, Russia probably has a lot of place. A lot of place in the world that's not, densely populated. Yeah, Greenland does have a native population, but I mean, like, like the size of the Gaza Strip is like the size of Montreal. So it's like you can maybe take like an island of like the island of Montreal, yes, there are like I don't know about Greenland. I know in Canada the native population has been sedentarized. They're not nomadic anymore. So right now there's a lot of places in Canada that are completely instead of displacing people, you could go like, you don't even have to go that up north in Canada. Like if we go here, like you have lakes. I'm willing, as a Quebecer, I'm willing to say, hey, Zionists, if you want your own place, your own territory, you know what? I'll bring that up to my prime minister and say, hey, if you want, you can have le Louis Babel Ecological Reserve. Look how cool this is. All right, this is right in the middle of Quebec. If you ever looked at the map of Canada and the United States and you were like, why is there like a little hole like a perfect hole in Quebec. Right here. Look at that. Isn't that fucking cool? Zionists, listen to me. I am willing, as a Quebecer, if there's nobody who lives on this island, right? I don't know if there's if there's people who live on this island, then maybe not. We'll have to reconsider it. But since it's an ecological reserve, I imagine that there's nobody living on this island, and this is much bigger than what you need. It's huge, and you have fresh water. It does get a bit cold, but I'm sure we can get around that with technology, with heating. Of course, we need to like discuss it. You can't just come here and take whatever you want. But listen, you can have this. It's so cool. Nobody's going to be displaced. You will be hassle-free. And I'll make sure personally that Hamas never comes here, right? If you leave Palestine, I can promise that Hamas won't... I can't make that promise. Oh yeah, and by the way, why it's a perfect circle is because a meteorite apparently smashed into Quebec, and this is the crater that the meteorite created. It's huge. This is it right here, and this is the United States. You see Florida all the way here. It's really, really fucking big. And like I'm not gonna say anything, but I've heard that this meteorite was sent by God Himself. I've heard it. It's rumors, right? This might be Holy Land. I will have to look into like maybe the Bible and try to find evidence for it, but there might be evidence that this might be Holy Land. Yeah, holy land. Wow, yeah, good one, Hypnotoes. That is unoccupied. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Temmer says, in my humble opinion, Israel exists. Any debate should center on how we can currently aid Palestinians right now. Arguing about history is masturbatory in the face of current violence. Yeah, but like talking about history can help understand as well, like can delegitimize Israel's occupancy and violence towards Palestine, right? I think if you want to help Palestinians, you can send like as much, I don't know, care package filled with food and medical supplies. But I think what they need the most right now is a condemnation of Israel. And I think a condemnation of Israel demands an understanding of the history of the region.